All right, folks. Happy Monday. Last time we were together, um, we talked about basically getting started with the new AWS console. We talked about the benefit of how it merges together Partner Central and Marketplace. And I revealed during that I was being a little hypocritical by not having my own partner solution listed in AWS Marketplace. So today, the order of business for the day is getting into the marketplace portal and uploading our first listing. And I've done a little bit of that. I've kind of done the Martha Stewart, have the pre-made Thanksgiving turkey already ready to come out of the oven. I'll show you that part, and then basically just give you a behind the curtain as to what it looks and feels like to navigate this process. Where did I run into any friction, that sort of thing. Maybe it'll help you. Drop comments if you'd like. I'd be happy to kind of explore that with you here on the stream. We are live, so feel free to engage that way. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my screen here. This will look familiar to you. This is the AWS Partner Central. Now, what I'm calling a service, I don't know if it's technically a service, but it functions as all the other services do in the AWS console. You'll recognize this as the AWS console, and you can just click AWS Partner Central, and you get into this screen here, which is a bit of a landing page, and you can click that launch button there. And here we are in Partner Central. And so you can see, like, already it's starting to prompt me, get started on co-selling, get started on AWS Marketplace. And we've got some options here. It's basically saying, hey, we detect that you don't have much of a co-seller marketplace presence. Let's fix that. And it gives some step-by-step information. So I'm just going to show you right here on my screen what it looks and feels like to go through that. So I'm going to click create a seller profile. And here you can see basically it walks you through and you can see I have a public profile now. I did not have one as of midday Friday. So PartnerCloud is now technically on Marketplace. It's currently limited to private visibility, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But essentially, you just walk your way across these horizontal tabs to create your profile for Marketplace. So Marketplace is going to need some basic information about how to get you paid, how to make sure you're legit, and that sort of thing. And so first thing first, you're going to create your public profile. It's really, really simple. All you need is a logo file, 300 by 150. You're going to put in a display name, your URL, and a very quick description, 600 character max description of your profile. And once you go through all of this necessary information, you can see sort of what that looks like here. But we will go, let's see, make sure I get the right one here. Maybe it's, maybe I actually, let's see here. Here we go. This is what it'll look like. It's basically going to take this is going to be your Marketplace homepage for your company. It's going to have this logo file that we've uploaded, and then your about section right there. So that's really how simple it is. You just go through all of those steps. And of course, they're going to want some tax information. You guys, if you want to pay my taxes, you can feel free to read any of the numbers on the screen here. Payment information is where you're going to put your bank account. And then the KYC, this is still a bit of a to-do for me, but you can see basically there are no major KYC details that aren't already being picked up through the existing information, except for in EMEA, there are some additional information needed. South Korea requires some additional information as well. So all you gotta do is go through that, get your KYC done. Service linked roles. This is for resale authorizations. I'm not doing any resale, so nothing doing there. And then notifications, all basic information regarding your account. So this is kind of at the account level, the partner level. And then these tags are helpful. So if you're selling actual solutions, you can tag the utility of those solutions and understand which, as you deploy new workloads for new customers, which ones are tied to these marketplace listings. So yeah, you can see basically I just went through that whole step-by-step. That's to get the account itself set up. Pretty straightforward. Let's see here. Let me check one more thing. Okay. So next is to build a product. So you've kind of like think of this as there's such an Amazon.com comparison here. You kind of build your store or your company first, and then you can build listings, units or SKUs within that company profile. So we've got our company profile that's set up. And then next, what we're going to do for me specifically is we're selling professional services, right? So I'm going to go into professional services, click there. And then basically right here, create a professional services product. And you can see I have already created my first product. That's the one that I've kind of put in the oven and pulling out here for the Thanksgiving supper. The PartnerCloud readiness review. This is our assessment phase. This is sort of the first call to action for any partner that we're working with, is to go through the assessment. Let's figure out what's going on with your partnership and your alliance with AWS. And so basically what I've done here, and I'll just sort of walk you through what this looks and feels like. Basically, if I go to request changes, you'll be able to see right here. Product title, you just give yourself a title. You can give, it literally uses SKU. So think about this as it's your object for sale. So you go through that. You're going to upload an S3 URL. So that was a little bit of a hiccup of a step. I had to go into S3, had to create a public bucket, had to add files into the S3 bucket. Could have just been an upload button, but anyway, it's there now, and I can amend it as needed. And so basically, I created a unique thumbnail for the product where it has like the word readiness review in it. And then next, of course, I'm using my AI assistants over on the other screen here to update my short description and my long description. The cool thing about the long description is it does allow you to do some formatting. So here I've got my key benefits and my how it works and why, et cetera, et cetera. And then so basically you have a short description. That's the TLDR version. The long description, that's where someone would theoretically go really deep. And then 3 highlights. That's kind of standard on the right-hand side of your listing. Those 3 highlights will be listed. And then this was actually something I got hung up on, was support details, because what I did not have prior was a support section on my website. It's professional services, and there's not really a support component, so to speak. But I did go ahead and comply with this by adding a support section on my PartnerCloud website. And then last is how people are going to find you. So this discoverability, I think nailing that is going to be hugely important. You can choose up to 3 product categories, and the product categories, if I can, let's see here, we'll go right here to my marketplace sort of store profile, if I will. Click on categories, and you can see how everything is laid out. You can see the sort of top level headers, AI agents and tools, biz apps, DevOps, cloud ops, data products, etc. We're going to be on these 5 under professional services: assessments, implementation, managed services, premium support, and training. 3 of those do apply to what we're doing: training, premium support, and assessments. Implementation and managed services definitely do not apply. So you can see I have those 3 tagged right there. And related products, these would be like actual Amazon products or other ISV products, et cetera, et cetera. But you can basically choose from some of those existing products. Not relevant for me at all. And then lastly, keywords. So basically, what would someone theoretically be searching for where you'd want your listing to pop up to the top? And then you click submit. So that part is relatively easy. And then once you do that, you get something that looks like this. This is my page for the readiness review. So basically, this is an assessment where we meet with the partner, who is our customer. You see there's a request private offer button right there. If you click that, it's going to take you to this screen to get to learn some more information about you and what you're interested in. And you can send the request to the seller. What that looks like back on my end is I kind of go back to this portal, the marketplace management portal, and then I'll be getting information back on those private offer requests. And so I can communicate directly with a potential buyer, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm just going to go back to home here. Whoops, sorry, I clicked the wrong button. And we'll keep going. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. You can kind of see sort of what that looks and feels like. So this is sort of the store page. You can see I have a store with 1 SKU for sale. That's the readiness review. And then this is what the request for private offer looks like. And yeah, you can see like it's applying that cool formatting. So that's really helpful in making it a bit more beautiful and catch the eye. You can see sort of things that we are claiming that we will be able to do, how it works, etc. So you can get creative here. You're not locked into these particular headers. You can also take some inspiration from others that you see doing a good job. That'd be my recommendation. And you can see the categories are linked over here. It is not deployed on AWS. It is a professional service, et cetera, et cetera. So cool. Hope that part's clear. So just like that, was able to get my first product and my profile listed on Marketplace. There are some back-end processes to make sure that you get approved by the Marketplace team. So I mentioned I kind of ran into that support issue where I did not have that listed on my website. I've gone back and added that, so I'm back under review once again. So I can view this because it's under my account, but I don't think anyone else would be able to do that. So yeah, with that in mind, I thought, why don't we just go ahead and create a new, you can kind of see, it does make you kind of log in to the proper AWS profile account, especially if you have multi-profile enabled. But basically, let's just kind of go back and add another professional services listing. So here we go. We're going to create a professional services product. You can look and see what that feels like. All right, we're going to give it a product title, a product SKU, give it a URL, et cetera, et cetera. Let me grab my information. Got some of this kind of already done. So I'm going to call this product External PDM for Hire. There's a lot of different ways you can say that, but basically what I want to tell a partner is like, embed us into your team. Transact through Marketplace, but consider us part of your team where we will be your liaison into AWS. And so it's kind of quasi alliance lead, it's kind of quasi PDM, but we're a third party. We sit sort of at that intersection. And I will need a SKU. Let me grab that. And while that's going, I'm going to go ahead and grab my S3 URL. See, I've made us another URL for External PDM for Hire. I'm going to just go grab that file. Whoops, and I'm going to place it right here in the logo file. And then here's going to be my SKU, PC PDM01. All right, I need a short description. I've got that kind of queued up right here. Let me go grab that. External PDM for Hire is a fractional embedded support model that places an experienced AWS partner manager inside your team. Yada, yada, yada. All right, and then here is my long description, and I am going to need to do a little bit of formatting work. Of course, you know how much AI, we can always improve some of this. I probably should have asked it to just get rid of all these emojis. Really don't like how it does that. I'm going to get rid of these highlights. All right. So here we go. It's got External PDM for Hire as a fractional embedded support model, yada, yada. So these are things that we've already talked about in the shorter description. Key benefits. This is where I am going to make that a header. Okay. And then next we have these options right here, which I'm going to make bold. And then I'm going to get rid of this line break, make bold, get rid of line break. I know you enjoy seeing someone type on a live stream. It's riveting. All right, bold and line break, and bold and line break. All right, I'm going to take the how it works section. We're going to make that bold. Excuse me, a header. So that's done. And again, we're going to do the bold and line break. All right, so you can see like it's pretty easy. Control B for bold, pretty self-explanatory, I think. And you can always go back and edit this, which is really helpful. I've had to edit mine a few times already. Put the heading in there, yada, yada, yada. All right, and then highlights. I'll grab that. So let's see here. embedded co-sell execution, program and funding alignment. It's a lot of the same reasons you would buy the assessment, but this is just going to be continuous, right? And one of the cool things we want to emphasize is that this is a great place to purchase such services because it does burn down your marketplace commit. And then support. I want to grab that. Oh, I need a support section. I don't. Actually, I could grab that straight out of this same support section, right? Where is my support? There it is. And then I'll put it right here. And then I'll add a link. And that is going to be this URL right here. Perfect. No resources. All right, categories, same 3 categories as before. So I'm going to scroll down to professional services. In fact, you can see the search on it's really great. Professional services filters it right away. And I think for this, I mostly just want it to be premium support and training. I don't even think I want it to be assessment. Assessment, I want the other product to surface. And then keywords. Let me grab my keywords. There those go. And then I'll click next. Display name, buyer facing title for the dimension for the product. Okay. We'll call it monthly PDM services. Buyer facing description. And you can see basically here, what you can do is your pricing dimensions can be like, just think about it as like platinum, gold, silver, for example. And it can be different levels of service. For me, the differentiating at that level is probably not super necessary. I can just do that through private pricing. So I'm just going to have the one option, and then we'll sort of shoehorn everyone into that one. So here we go. I've got what it looks like. This looks pretty good so far, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, you want to read through this a bit more detailed, but I'll click submit. And update request in progress. Your request to update product information is in progress. Okay, so it's under review. There's the request ID. I wonder if I hit refresh there, will I see the same thing? Okay, it's working on it. This step creates a new product in AWS Marketplace. And I don't think it takes very long. I think going through that's pretty standard. So maybe within the next couple minutes, we'll have that be live. And that's it. That's basically all we have to do to create that. I am interested in kind of continuing to play around with, say, like the pricing information and seeing what opportunities exist to either display or not display. Kind of by default, it has everything going through private pricing. But I am interested, especially for the assessment, like what does it look and feel like to show a public price for that? So I'm kind of curious to play around with that and see how that goes. Let me hit refresh and see if we've just gotten lucky to get that through. No, not yet. Update is in progress. Let's see what our requests look like. Yeah, and you can see like here's my full history of request. We have basically this several different updates regarding the readiness review. I've just, you kind of see that there's a spacing that needs to be added here or this, that, or the other. Pretty easy to go in and do that. And it shows a nice little track record of all your changes. And you can refresh that anytime. Oh, look, create product has succeeded. So we'll go there now. That was pretty quick, right? And then I can view on AWS Marketplace. I'll click that link and bada bing, we just made that. That didn't exist 2 minutes ago. And now here it is. And so external PDM for hire is a fractional embedded support model that places an experienced AWS partner manager inside your team. Cool. So you can see there's the short description and here's our long description. Got our key benefits listed. We've got it sold by, yada, yada, yada. So this is me doing it for my business. You can imagine this also happening for your consulting business, your ISV business. And, I think there's a lot to think about in regards to how do you position your offerings on Marketplace in such a way that maximizes value. Because what I see a lot of the big partners doing is what I call bucketing. Like, I don't want to single any partner out, but you let's just say you're ABC Technologies, and you'll create a listing or a product called ABC Technologies. Well, great. That tells us literally nothing, right? You run every single or almost every single transaction you have as being ABC Technologies, and not your XYZ product or your 1, 2, 3 product. You probably have several sub products, or maybe you cover several different industries. So even if you're ABC Technologies and you only sell like one thing, you probably have a different offering for healthcare than you have for education, than you have for automotive, than you have for insert industry. So maybe it makes more sense, and maybe it's how people would find you more efficiently if you industrialized your products and sort of created different SKUs for your different products. So sort of the same way that we have 2 different SKUs for our Tidy Sync product that I talked about last time, one for black and one for gray, same product, 2 different colors. Maybe you also want to have different SKUs for your different industries. So just put your thinking hat on that. Put yourself in the position of someone who's coming here to Marketplace, looking for exactly what you're selling. Ask yourself, can they find it? Because this is as easy as a potential sale can ever get. Is it just sits over here, nobody's actually working it, and something's going to go through it. Can they find it? Could an AWS field seller who actually wants your company's product for their customer, can they find it through Marketplace? Because we mentioned there's a load of internal tools that sellers have access to. But I have a feeling that if you fast forward 3-5 years, everyone's using Marketplace. Sellers, customers, list goes on. So that's it. I wanted to show you all how to use Marketplace to get your first listings up. We've done that. That's successful. So congratulations to PartnerCloud, who now has, I wonder if I can go here to my PartnerCloud listing. Well, I see 2 services listed. I don't, just the one for right now. But soon enough, this one just went live today, even though I made it on Friday. So within a couple days, I should be able to see that. And then hopefully within the next 24 hours or so, I'll get through my support email question, and then I'll have the entire company profile public. So not just private, but public. And then I'll be able to source leads as well through Marketplace. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Leave a comment if you will. Feel free to share, and we'll keep doing these. Happy Monday. Enjoy the rest of your week.